So in this video, we're going to talk about simple interest word problems. So here's an example of a problem involving simple interest. So you invest 25,000 in a bank for 2 years at a 3% interest rate. What's the interest you have earned after this time? So to solve this problem, we're going to use the formula for finding the interest, which is PRT. P stands for the principal amount, which is the one you invested. R stands for the interest rate, and T stands for the time, which is in years. In this case, it's 2 years. So this is a formula to find the interest after the time T. It's principal amount times interest rate times time. And you have to make sure that your interest rate should be in decimal. Now, we're going to replace each of this with the given. So principal amount is 25,000. So it's in the problem that you invested 25,000 for 2 years with the interest of 3%. So in simple interest, it is an annual interest without compound. It's not compounded, just simply an increase of 3% every year. So we have 25,000 as the principal amount. The rate is 3%, but you cannot put 3% there, but you have to put the decimal form of the percentage. To do that, you divide the percent by 100. So 3 divided by 100, you'll get the decimal form of 0.03. That is equivalent to 3%. And then the time, or T, is 2 years, so we're going to put 2. Then multiply from left to right. So we have 25,000 times 3% or 0.03, that's 750. And then copy the 2. Then we multiply 750 times 2, that's 1,500. And don't forget to put the unit, which is in peso. So we put the peso sign. So at the end of 2 years, your 25,000 will increase by 1,500 pesos, which is the interest for 2 years at 3% rate. Now another problem we have is Jane has 250,000 to invest. She wants to earn 20,000 in interest. So in this case, interest is given. She is considering a savings and loans bank that is offering 1.5% interest per year. For how long will she have to leave her money in the bank in order to reach her goal of 20,000? So in this problem, it's asking for how long will she have to leave. So it's looking for the time, or how many years will she need to wait in order to get an interest of 20,000 from the investment of 250,000, considering the simple interest is 1.5% only. So to solve this, we are going to use this formula for time of the simple interest, which is the interest divided by the principal amount times the interest rate. So in our given, the I, or the interest, or the target interest at the end of the time T, that which is we are looking for, is 20,000. And then at the bottom, which is the P, or the principal amount, is the invested amount, that is 250,000. And the R, or the rate, is 1.5%. Again, you can use the percent form in the formula, but you have to convert it into decimal. So 1.5 divided by 100, you will get 0.015. And then put the line for the fraction. So it's 20,000 over 250,000 times 0.015. Now we're going to compute first the bottom since there are two that we need to multiply. So we'll just copy the top and multiply 250,000 times 0.015. You will get 3,750. And then we divide 20,000 divided by 3,750. So we'll just round off our answer, which is approximately equal to, so we're using that symbol if we are rounding off since we don't have the exact answer anymore. So we round it off to 2 decimal places, so it will be 5.33 approximately in years. So for Jane to get an interest of 20,000, she has to wait for 5.33 years. Now another example, we have Jessica invests 325,000 pesos in a credit union at an interest rate of 2.3%. She leaves the money there for 5 years. What is her balance after that time? So this problem is actually asking for the balance after 5 years. So that means it's looking for the final amount. Given that the invested amount or the principal amount is 325,000 and the interest rate, it's understood to be simple interest since it doesn't say it's compounded. So it's 2.3%. And that is automatically annually if it's simple interest. And so we're going to leave it for 5 years. So the question is how to solve or what formula we're going to use to find the final amount in a simple interest problem. So we use this A, which stands for the final amount, the P is the principal amount or the amount invested, R stands for the rate, interest rate, and T is for the time or which is in years. So I'm going to substitute everything that is given. We have P as the principal amount or the invested amount. That's 325,000 times 1 plus, and then the rate is 2.3%. So by the way, 1 is a constant in formula, so you don't change it. It's always 1. What changes are those other variables, the P, R, and the T. So the R or the rate is 2.3%. So to change it into decimal, you divide it by 100. So 2.3 divided by 100 is 0.023. And then the time is 5 for 5 years. So we're going to compute first what's inside the parentheses. So 325,000, we'll just copy it. And the one inside is 1 plus 0.023 times 5. So we're going to multiply first based on the PEMDAS. So PEMDAS stands for parentheses. So we're going to solve first what's inside parentheses. Exponent. And then there's no exponent in this case, so just ignore that. MDAS is M multiplication or division, whichever comes first from the left. And AS stands for addition or subtraction, so whichever comes first from the left. So in this case, we have 1 plus and 0.023 times 5. So we're going to multiply first before we're going to add. So 0.023 times 5. So we'll just copy 1 plus and then we'll get the product 0.115. And then combine 1 plus 0.115. So it will be 1.115. And then copy 325,000. And then you multiply the two numbers. So we have 362,375. And the unit is in peso. So at the end of 5 years, Jessica will have a final amount of 362,375. So what is this final amount? It is a combination of the principal invested or principal amount plus the interest that is being increased based on the interest rate. So it's a combination of the interest and the principal amount. So that is the 362,375.